gonna read and we're gonna talk. We're gonna learn and it's gonna rock. We're gonna answer 3 questions, it's a walk in the park. It's Mr. Clark's Corner, now here's Mr. Clark.
Yesterday was Christmas and 2 days ago was Christmas Eve. So what do you call the day after Christmas? And this, believe it or not, is not a joke. I want to know, why do we not have a name for the day after Christmas? I mean, think about it. This whole week is kind of just sitting in limbo. Like, we've been waiting for Christmas for so long, and finally Christmas came, and it was yesterday, and I hope it was awesome. And now it's just like, now what do we do until New Year's? It's the holiday season, but we don't have a name for today, so I want you guys to think about, what should we call the day after Christmas? Not the day before Christmas, because that's Christmas Eve, and not Christmas, because that's Christmas Day, but what should we call the day after Christmas? It's a good question. I've been wondering it for a while. But since Christmas passed, we talked about Christmas last Sunday, and we had a combined service with kids and adults in a big family Sunday event, and we talked about what happened on Christmas, and we talked about it from Luke's perspective. And Luke wrote in the book of Luke about the shepherds. And we talked about how shepherds aren't really people who fit into society. Shepherds were disgusting people. Like, if there was a job that I could think of that was really disgusting here today, I would think of like working in the sewers, or even sometimes being a trash man could be kind of gross. But that doesn't mean those people are less than me. That doesn't mean those people are less important than me, or that they are worse people than me. It just means they have a different job. But back then, people didn't know that. So shepherds had gross jobs. Jobs that nobody wanted. In fact, jobs that some people thought were wrong. And so people didn't think that the shepherds, or that some people with other jobs like that, were even as good as them. Well, Jesus sure changed their mind, didn't he? Because when Jesus was born, he was born into a stable, a place where animals stay. He was laid in a manger, a place where animals eat. And he was visited by shepherds, people who watch over animals. Everything was dirty and gross, and people would have thought that it was wrong, and how dare the shepherds come and visit Jesus? Shouldn't everybody else visit Jesus? I can't believe that Jesus would allow shepherds to visit him. But remember, God came as an outcast. God came as Jesus, who was born in a place that wasn't his home. He was born in a place where animals lived. He was laid in a place where animals eat. His father, Joseph, wasn't his natural father. He was his adopted father. His mother, Mary, was not quite married yet. There were a lot of reasons why people may have thought Jesus was an outsider. And that was on purpose. See, people thought they were better than people like Jesus. People who follow the law, the 10 Commandments, or other Old Testament parts of the Bible, they believed that they were better than people who lived with animals, than people who watched over animals, or lay in animals' feed, or people whose mothers weren't married. But that's just not true. God tells us that everyone is equal. And the way that he tells us is by Jesus himself, God's Son, coming to be with us and to be a part of us. Not only to be a part of us, to be human, but to be one who was labeled as an outcast. Actually, let's read a little bit, because this is my favorite part, and I touched on it on Sunday when we talked about it in church. But Luke chapter 2, and we're going to read the reaction of everybody else. So Luke chapter 2, and let's read, not quite that far, let's read chapter 2, verse 18. It says, all who heard what the shepherds had said were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary kept all these things like a secret treasure in her heart. She thought about them over and over. Why was everyone amazed? Everyone marveled. They were stunned. They were shocked that the shepherds would know that the Son of God was born. Why doesn't anybody else know? But the shepherds heard it. God visited the shepherds, the people who other people thought weren't good enough. God knows that's not true. And Mary did too. Mary treasured those things in her heart. Because Mary probably knew that, she's probably not worthy to carry the Son of God like she did. But at the end of the day, God says, I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what nation you're from. I don't care where in the world you've been. I don't care where in the world you're going. All I care about is that I love you. And that's why Jesus came down to be a human, to be one of us, to be an outcast, so that he could bring us, his people, to be closer to him. That is our secret code word sound of the day, and our code word of the day is outcast. O-U-T-C-A-S-T, outcast. So write that down on a code word card, put it in the mailbox outside of my office so you can receive points toward your prizes. That brings us to today's 3 questions. Question number 1. How would you have reacted if you were a shepherd when the angels told you that the Son of God had been born? Question number 2. Do you think it's important that Jesus came as an outcast? Question number 3. How would you have reacted if you thought shepherds were outcasts and they heard about the Son of God before you? Well, that is our 3 questions, and that is Mr. Clark's Corner. I'm Mr. Clark. This is my corner. Adios, amigos.
Okay, we read, alright, we talked. Oh yes, we learned, and you know we rocked. We even answered 3 questions, man, what a fun day. It's Mr. Clark's Corner, I'll see you on Sunday.